So, good evening and welcome to Minimalist Biohacker. Our goal is to get high performers and companies to the topic of biohacking, to get more out of life and to get. And actually, our guest for today just joined the live session, so we will get him up here. Awesome. Hello, Sean.
Hey, how are you, Marco?
Hey, good. So actually, it's Sean Fallacara, right? Do I say it
Yes.
right? Okay, cool.
Yes. Alles klar.
Awesome. I'm really happy to have you here. So Sean is actually from Montreal in Canada. So we have a bit of a time shift here. And you are the CEO of a multinational corporation making biomedical equipments. So I guess you're pretty busy and probably also traveling a lot. And you have been into biohacking basically all your life, even before it was this kind of fashion word, biohacking. And I'm really, really interested in what you are doing because your main topic is calisthenics in combination with neuroscience, right? And as I'm a body weight workout guy myself, I'm really interested in what you are doing. So maybe you can kick this off basically by just telling us a little bit about what you do and what the calisthenics and neuroscience combination is about.
Okay, sure. So thanks for inviting me to your podcast. I'm very happy to join, and I saw what you're doing. You're right into biohacking for sure. From my side, I think I'm probably one of these guys that call himself a biohacker, but it's a different definition for me. I'm more an athlete applying neuroscience to what I do, and that makes me a biohacker. It's a difference between biohackers around the world, and there's a ton, and thanks God there's a ton spreading the word of biohacking, and it's good. And there is many athletes spreading good vibes as well around the world, and that is good as well. But there is no athlete with neuroscience background like me spreading vibes about optimization of the body, which is called biohacking now. So that's probably the difference. I think that there is one guy that does very nice stuff. It's Ben Greenfield, but he's not as good as I am on calisthenics. So, but he's way better than me, and he has a scientific background as well. So, and he is into sports. So, I would consider myself in between a guy like that and probably one of these neuroscientists explaining what is going on in the brain, because at the end of the day, biohacking is just using our resources to get better.
Yeah, awesome. And how did you get into the big topic of like the sports of calisthenics kind of?
I've been into sport my whole life. I'm a fanatic of sports. Whatever sports, it's just like I love being active. And I was lifting weight and like you do, and I got bored, but really bored. Counting reps was not for me, and I was always trying to find new ways to optimize that workout. But I was always on my workout very regularly and doing whatever it takes. And I asked somebody if he could train me to calisthenics, and the guy goes like, hey, man, you're too old for that. Forget it. And I was just like, okay, why? And he goes like, because your body is going to crack down and you're going to break your muscles and tendons and everything. And I go like, oh, you think so? I think that it's not that true. So I started to do body weight workout by myself, looking at our buddy Frank Midrano's video and looking at what he was doing and trying to do what he was doing. And I was just like, oh, that is so cool. And then, Instagram and Facebook and YouTube shows you so much stuff and you see no limits. So I was just like, I want to be that. I want to do this, and I want to move like that. And I started to do couple stuff in my gym, and people were just like, hey man, you're killing it. And pure motivation, trying to use your brain more than your body. This is the trick. We're using many athletes don't use their brain the same way they use their arms or legs or whatsoever. So they should. And the proof is that if you use your brain, you're pushing your potential to the extreme, and probably the double of any athlete in age, the double in age of any athlete in calisthenics. But man, I kick butt. I have no problem doing better stuff than young punks, and I love them because they are motivating me.
Yeah,
so
awesome.
this is why I went into calisthenics, and because it's cool. Calisthenics is the only sport that requires the whole body to be activated at the same time as many parts of your brain, the frontal cortex, of course, but other parts of the brain are triggered the same way. And this is why I love calisthenics. There is no other sports putting your body in that tension, I would say, but not the negative way, but in that requirements demand than calisthenics. It's the only one. You need to know every single part of your body, every single muscle, every single nerve to be able to perform. And to do that, you need to know your brain.
And if you say like use your brain more than your body, even when working out, like how do people go about that? So let's take me. I'm doing a lot with the gymnastic rings and whatever. So also if you start calisthenics, you will learn that something's really hard and you have to basically think about your muscle in the back to actually get your legs up and stuff. But how would you say, like, how do you start that? Like, how do you integrate the brain into sport?
Well, I may have a big tumor in my head, and I'm capable of hyper focus very fast. And I don't know why I have this faculty, but I do have it, and I get into the zone every single day of my life when I go training, and that helps a lot. But what I'm trying now is to explain to people that it's possible to get into the zone, because this is the only time of your training, of your life, where nothing counts. You're in the middle of nowhere in terms of action reaction, but you do the things that you were made to do, even if you didn't try it before. So getting into the zone is the key. And to get into the zone, there is some sort of preparation. And those are called biohack. Like you start your day with the cold shower, cold exposure. Of course, be careful of what you eat. Light exposure is the key. And one of the favorite biohack of everyone is meditation. Just a couple of minutes of recentering yourself with meditation helps you to get to that point where when you start training, of course, warm up and things like that, when you start training, your brain gets aligned with your surrounding music or whatsoever, and this is the way you perform. But I'm using a couple of tricks as well. Not all natural, okay? I'm using, time to time, I'm using a transcranial direct stimulation, an headset from my favorite company, but I think the company doesn't do well at this time, Halo Sport, Halo Neuroscience. It's a fantastic tool, and it really helps, and scientifically proven. I've been working with University of Miami and the guys from Johns Hopkins that have tons of reports on neuroplasticity that can trigger with transcranial direct stimulation. It's a whole technology, actually. That, or even I'm testing at this time some new app that use waves of noises and sounds to stimulate your brain. And so far,
or
it's an application, and you put it in you have different ways to put it, and it's just using your asset. It's sounds, okay? But those sounds, those sounds were studied by I won't say the name because he's going to be pissed off if I say his name. Michael, the guy that spent his whole life studying on the zone. And so far so good. That's the trick that I'm using. So you align yourself, your body, your mind to get there. And this is what I call neuroscience calisthenics. And then you add some couple of tricks, a couple of technologies to it, because we're living in 2020, almost 2021, and technology is accessible, and there's good stuff. There's shitty stuff too, but there's very good stuff too. So
that's where the Cyborg comes in.
Right. Well, you know where the Cyborg comes in? It's actually a very good joke that started. When I started calisthenics and I had this hyper-focus capability, I had a friend, a trainer, Grégoire, and he was training me, and he goes like, damn, every time I show you a move, your face changes, and you go and you do it. And I turn and I go like, yeah, it's because I'm a cyborg. And I said that like that. But then that redundant joke became my name, and people were calling me the cyborg because I was putting my stuff on Instagram, and people were watching Instagram and go like, that's the cyborg. I want to do that trick that the cyborg did. And I go like, okay, I'm going to change my name from my Instagram name to Cyborggainz. That's it.
Awesome story. But hey, like if we go back to the mindset before sport, do you do meditation before you work out?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, there's a routine. You know, that routine is fantastic for brain plasticity in general, and breaking down the routine on small chunks is also good for neuroplasticity. So yes, I do that. When I go to my gym is like outside of my house. When I step outside, get light exposure and stuff like that, I start the process of meditation. And then I spend between 10 and 20 minutes just centering on myself and pushing away all the, negative thought and things like that. But yes, before going to bed.
Okay, that's awesome, because I actually use a short meditation. It's like only 2 minutes, like a little awareness meditation after I work out, just to reduce my my heart rate and to like get all into this parasympathetic state again. And basically that helps me to really calm down and be back in my normal life. But I really should try the meditation beforehand.
If you want to perform better, because you know that when you push weights and you feel tired on you're doing reps of 10, for example, and you're on the third or the last rep of 10 and you're at 8 and you're just like suffering like a cow, and you're just like, oh. This is only 40% of your potential. If you raise it to 50, you're going to double the number. And to raise it to 50, you need to control what is in your brain. It's like taking a cold shower. The first thing, you put your brain in alert, and you have your reptilian cortex making a reflex. And it's the same with your reps. At the end of the last rep, you're just like, I'm so tired, I can't do it. But if your brain says, oh, I'm just at 40%, I can do way more than that, it's going to change, and you're going to perform better. And the whole concept of this is not only performance, it's like anything related to your cellular mitochondria regeneration, everything related to your body in general is activated the same way. So it's a whole benefit.
Awesome. I think that is something that everyone who's listening can already take right away with them, and like just spend a few minutes being mindful before the workout and like centering and getting basically really in the zone for the workout. That's really cool. I'm going to try that immediately. And I guess like with a company running and everything, you probably like have let's say a decently full schedule. So for me, calisthenics was always so cool because I can just do it anywhere. Basically at home, I just put it out on my balcony, the 2 rings, and then I go. It takes around like 40 minutes or something. Like, what are your workouts like typically?
Typically, I don't have a plan before I step into my gym. I know that I'm going to train, and I don't do like chest, shoulders, abs by session like that. I go by feeling. If I was training planche yesterday, I know that today I'm not going to be doing planche, but I'm going to start my training after meditation and preparation, stretching. And during my stretch, I will think about what I'm going to do. And I always start my training by handstands, warming up and putting some blood in my head. It's necessary because you need to flood your brain with oxygen to be performant. So that's the way I start handstands. And then I have those little tricks called the neuro grips. They're grips rounded like a handle and a peak in the middle. And you do push-up on these, but the concept of the neuro grip is that you have a whole body activation, but really full body activation.
So it's basically like unstable.
Right, it's totally unstable. So you can make variation wider, smaller, one hand if you're strong enough and things like that, but your whole body get like in fire and you're ready. And during that time, you can think about what you're going to do. And most of the time, I would start by doing some ab roller to get my core engaged, because calisthenics is mainly about core. And L sit, and then I start by one or two move in a flow, like V sit, going up, down, and then I decide if I feel that I need to work on my pike press, I'll put my whole session on pike press. I'm choosing one or two move and I just put my focus on it, not more than that, because you need to decode everything you do, and there is no perfection in movements. So you need to try to reach that level. That it's impossible, but this is the chase of perfection, and this is what is good of calisthenics, is you never stop, and sometimes you discover new moves and you're just like, oh, this morning I was trying new stuff because yesterday I was doing handstand and going down, and I was looking at gymnasts going down but spreaded legs. So this morning I was just like, oh, you know what, I'm just going to train that. I want to have that move. So it's a hell of a flexibility and mobility and core. It burns you. But for an hour, I was just doing that move. And you take videos. It's important to see what you do, because you cannot correct if you don't see it. And then the last step of my session, before I feel too tired, because you have to listen to your body too, it's to use visualization of what you want to perform. So you've been practicing for an hour, let's say, and you want that move. You have to have it in your mind before you go for the last 1 or 2 or 3 rep. And you visualize the movement. It creates the pathway in your neurons, and then you do it. And you remember to take rest between reps. That's something like so many people forget. Like they go from one thing to another, and since they missed it, they come back to it right away, and they go like, no, I didn't get it, I'm going to start again. Never. I don't do that. I just like do the move, check my video, and take a good 2-3 minutes rest, because calisthenics has this great potential. It burns energy so much that if you don't do that, your mitochondrial energy is at 0. So try to do moves like planche and do like reps like that. Forget it. You'll never get it. And some people just forget that, and they're going, how did you get that strong on front lever? I can hold for 45, 50 seconds. Or planche. How do you get to planche? It's just because I take the time to regenerate my body between my trials. And that's, again, this is the principle of neuroscience calisthenics as well. Explaining people that the body is the key.
It's like, sounds very similar to actually climbing. Like if you do bouldering or climbing, yes. It's pretty much similar in terms of you take long rests in between, because otherwise your muscles will just close up. You will get really tired. And actually, when you just told this story, it's really amazing for me to see. It's like a mirror, because when I started out, I did exactly that. Like I was so eager to learn it, and I was like, yeah, go again. And then you get sick after 2 or 3 weeks, because you're just constantly smashing and you don't get better. That's the point.
You reach plateaus all the time. Yeah.
So that's like super smart.
It's and rock climbing. I've done that too. I love that sport as well because concentration and focus is so important into it. But and that's the key. I never reach plateaus. For me, it's just like sometimes, of course, I slow down. But I hear many friends, "Oh, I'm on a plateau now," or even some saying, "Oh, I lost my planche." You cannot lose something that it's in your brain. That's ridiculous. It's engraved there. They just like they need to put it back in the right way. But you cannot lose a move unless you double your weight, of course. And this is it for me. Every single day that I'm alive, I'm going to a new challenge and a new record, and I'm going higher every day, and more performances, more think, and more everything. That's the only way.
That's awesome. I think I have to get some of your kind of training in, because what I really suck at the moment is like improvisation. I'm doing a new program now because I kind of can't stick to it. But as soon as you tell me like, hey, here are rings, just play, I'm kind of like, I don't know what to do. Like maybe I should just try it for set a timer for half an hour and just do. But like what you say, like that you go intuitively, that is something that I have kind of lost. Like I have to have a program or something to go into so I can get it on, but I have to really get back into this intuitive.
But do meditation. Do meditation before you. It's the key to your problem, because you go to the gym with a set plan and you know that you're going to stick to it. If you're going outside of your plan, you get bored or lost or whatsoever. If you're full mindfulness when you get to the gym and you have no idea on what you're doing and you go with the flow of what you're doing, this is the beauty of doing sports. It's like every day you can discover new thing, improve and try, and no one is watching. It's like dancing. If no one is watching, for me, is doing calisthenics. If no one is watching, I don't care if it's perfect or not. It's just like I'm having fun. I love it. And I want to get that done perfectly, and it's impossible to do. So I'll keep going, and I'll do it every day. Well, awesome. 5 times a day.
That it's really like you train that often?
Yeah. No, I train 5 times a week. I don't. Yeah. No, I actually work out in the morning because it's important for the brain to be aligned. And with my business, I have a lot of stuff to do too, where I want to be focused on important things. We're part of the COVID response. We make freezers for that, so we're very, very busy at this time. But we are part of this movement in the world where we're helping the society to get better and to avoid all this confinement and lockdown that we've been here for too long now. I guess everyone is bored about it.
Yeah, no, but I do the same. I train right in the morning because it's basically just I'm really focused. It's the only time I can properly control. Everything else is kind of out of my control sometimes. Yeah. So I do that as well. But when you say like you train 5 times per week, I also do like 5 to 6 times at the moment. Do you have anything for recovery? Like anything that you do constantly, or kind of supplements also?
I'm not the type of guy that likes supplements. I do like one. It's magnesium. I think is one of the most important, combined with L-threonate. It's perfect for the brain. And I do love, and I've been taking it for, I think, ever. I was the first to bring this molecule in Canada, the conjugated linoleic acid. It's a kind of fatty acid. And I do remember years and years ago, no sources were available, and I found one. And since then, I love it. It's just because it gives you some certain energy, it lowers your cholesterol, so it helps people to. I don't have a weight problem, but now it's proven that it helps people losing weight as well. So those are the 2 supplements I would take. Recommend others? Not really. I think it's a whole bunch of bullshit around it. Now, I was saying that last time. It's just like now you can anyone can have his own brand of supplements, and you don't know where they're coming from. I like one company, Biooptimizer. They're pretty good. They do nice stuff, and the magnesium is coming from them. But you know, this is it. Some people believe in it, some others I don't. For me, the proof of concept is still not there in terms of supplement. And then your other question was about recovery.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, do you have a recovery protocol or something you want to share?
Yeah, I drink wine.
Awesome. Red wine or white?
Red wine. That's a good recovery thing.
I like a good red one too. You drink it right in the gym or afterwards?
No, actually, I wait until the night. But I do seriously drink wine every day. I have my 2 glasses of red wine at night with my dinner. It's an important part of my life, and I think it's good. It's part of my recovery. Then, of course, for recovery, you have saunas, infrared, or hot tub, good, and cold shower, super benefit in the morning or after workout. After workout, it's perfect as well.
Love it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like it's funny. Sometimes for me, red wine has an impact on my sleep quality, but overall, I mean, if you have a good dark red wine, I think it increases nitric oxide as well, which basically helps your VO2 max, like the oxygenation of your body, and also dark chocolate. So those are the guilty pleasures that are actually not so bad after all. So I love those too. And if you would say, like, what is your #1 fitness tool? Like something for training. If somebody listening now and says, like, damn, he's right, I want to get into this form of training in calisthenics, what should I get?
You know what? You cannot get into calisthenics if you don't buy yourself a pair of parallettes. You need to have that. It's just like the portable one, the longest and low one, the highest, whatever, but a pair of parallel is necessary because there's so many moves that you need to have to achieve there before going on floor. Doing calisthenics on floor is harder on joints, but when you have a good pair of parallels, it's my favorite tool, definitely.
Okay, and rings are probably a bit too unstable for the beginning, right?
I love the rings. It's just like you need to hang them out, and you cannot if you have an apartment and you're in the middle of the city, it's quite hard to get to do rings. A parallel, you can just pull away some furniture and do parallels. But I do love rings. It's hard as hell. It's you need to be strong on that. And but yeah.
Rings are my favorite tool because you can do everything, like pulls, you can do push-ups, you can do dips, I just hang them up and I can do anything on them. And even the things like push-ups get really hard if you have the instability of the rings.
It's a hell of a movement because your core is triggered and engaged so much when you get into doing push-up with the rings, of course. Yes. Yeah,
awesome. So I think like we already have covered so many really, really cool things now. Like it's really amazing to just pick your brain a little bit.
Thank you.
So we already covered basically like supplements, we covered like your favorite training tools, and I guess, but I will still ask that. So if somebody says, okay, I train my body with calisthenics and I also want to train my brain, I guess I know what the answer will be, but like what would be the #1 brain training thing that you would basically prescribe to someone who's listening and saying like, hey, I want to train my brain also?
Natural or mechanical or electronic?
Actually, whatever is your top tool, like the one thing you would keep if you would have to give everything else away.
For
meditation.
Brain training. Yeah, meditation. That's the only way you get. Meditation can bring you into a cold lake, resistance to cold water. In a desert, if you need to run in a desert with 45 degrees outside, it brings you everywhere. Electronic can be burnt or broken or whatsoever. But yeah, if I had to keep one biohack, it would be that one. And it changes the life of everyone when they start practicing. It's funny stuff, but I was watching a series yesterday about a performer, and the guy was like, every time I was doing meditation, I get bored and anxious. And I do remember myself at the age of 20 trying to do meditation because I was too nervous. And I was just saying exactly the same. Oh, I can't do that. It's boring. It's annoying. Now, I cannot not do that. It's so intense. It's so required. But it's just a question of putting your mindset in the perspective of doing it. And sometimes you're just not ready to do it.
Awesome. And do you have like a favorite meditation that you do?
No, it's just like mindfulness meditation, purely, simply, and just pushing away whatever I cannot control. And that's as simple as that. And I don't want to make it too complicated. I don't want to use any other techniques. I just go there by the feeling I get to be in mindfulness and to be just aware of my body and my brain, and this is it. And why would we make things complicated where they are so simple?
We do a lot of times. So that's also the goal for Minimalist Biohacker, to kind of reduce everything down. Especially in the world of biohacking, I see that a lot, that you just get so many gadgets, so many things that you could do. In the end, you could spend 5 hours a day optimizing yourself, but what's the point? I mean, the idea is so you can live your life more fully. At least that's my perspective on that. So I'm always looking out for these like small things, like the meditation I do to calm down. It takes 2 minutes. I focus on what I see. I focus on what I hear, what I feel, and what I smell.
Yeah.
It's bringing me down completely.
Yeah. Putting down your pace and breathing and things like that. It's this is the story about biohacking. Now you see many people trying to jump into biohacks and trying techniques of biohacking and all sorts of gadgets and everything. And even before we got together talking, I've always said, I'm not a true biohacker. I'm a natural biohacker. I'm going to try to use as much as natural thing, like light exposure, cold, and things like that, and complement that with gadgets. But I don't make my goal to be a biohacker. Biohacker came naturally on what I'm doing. And I was not a biohacker, and then I became an athlete and explaining neuroscience into calisthenics. I was first studying neuroscience. I was an athlete on the side. I became more an athlete performer using my neuroscience, and biohack just came to me because I was using them naturally, and I was just, people call that biohacking. Oh, that's cool. Okay. I like the word. I'm from the punk generation, so they were the first biohackers. Yeah.
No, I really love that. I think like our vision and our idea for that is pretty similar. I also try to use basically what I have, like basically my body first, and that's nature first. And only if that doesn't help and work, then I add stuff on top, but I keep it as little as possible. Yeah. So we're actually like about the 30-minute mark now. So it's basically time to wrap it up. But I have seen that you have a book going on, right?
Yes. Called the same principle, neuroscience calisthenic. Absolutely. And it explains all the biohack that you already know. Actually, I go just a bit deeper into the biohack techniques in the book, and I make the link between those biohack techniques and the neuroscience effects. So take meditation. I will explain you how the brain reacts to meditation. Take cold shower, for example, and I will tell you what a cold shower triggers in your brain and your body. So that's the purpose of my book, going deeper into explaining what biohacking is and what is the effect on brain. Because once you got to understand what is happening in your head, the rest is pure fun. Life is beautiful.
Awesome. So it's actually out for pre-order, or is it already published?
It's out. It's on
out.
Amazon. Yeah, Amazon everywhere. It's on Barnes and Noble as well. And if you don't find it, just DM me, and I'll route you to the right place. It's pretty much everywhere.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I definitely have to get a copy of that because it sounds so interesting, like to combine all these things. And I mean, look at you. You look like an absolute machine. So definitely someone to know. So
I'm a cyborg. It's a kind of machine.
You're a cyborg, half machine, half human. So apart from your book, like where can people find you and learn more from you?
I think that the best way to find me is on my website, cyborggainz.com, on my Instagram at Cyborggainz with the Z, two G's and a Z at the end, Z. But if you Google my name, you're going to find tons of pages everywhere related to business or to biohacking or to neuroscience calisthenics. Because actually neuroscience calisthenics is a patented technique under my name. Yeah. No,
it's really cool, and I'm of course going to link all that in the IGTV description because a lot of people will watch that afterwards, so they can also find you. So,
and
Sean,
there is a Komi, a new platform that is coming out in the market these days. KOM. I'll be on Komi. They've selected a couple of people around the planet to have them expose and to explain what they're doing, and I'm part of that.
Okay, cool. I'm also going to look that up and put it in the show notes, basically. Cool. So, Sean, thank you so much. That was like 30 minutes that will probably improve the training. And really, really thank you very much for letting me pick your brain and looking into what the concept of calisthenics and neuroscience is. I learned a lot. So I hope we stay in touch. And all people that are listening, check Sean out at Cyborggainz or on his website. I put it in the show notes later. And start training. Like I think moving your body, training your body, and also meditating and improving your mind and calming down and getting into this zone. It's something everyone can do. It's free. Like just buy a few sports clothes if you feel good in them. And then
do it naked. You can do it naked. It doesn't matter. No one's watching.
It will 10x your life easily. Like I feel so much better when I work out. But find out for yourself. Get the book, look into that. So everyone, have a nice evening. Sean, thank you so much. And I hope
thank you, Marco. It was all the best. Fantastic pleasure. So
bye, Sean. Bye, everyone. Guten Tag, auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao.